Hi everybody, Alex Deployer from Expert Forex, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the Grid Trend Multiplier Calculator, which is a supplementary tool that can be used to give guidance as to what grid sizes should be applied to the various currencies. Much of this tool is built into our plug-and-play version, but for the regular version it comes as a completely separate tool. When you download the Grid Trend Multiplier regular version, the Grid Trend Multiplier Calculator comes with that particular download. So the download actually loads two items. It loads the EA for the Grid Trend Multiplier, but it also downloads the calculator. Now to activate the calculator, you just drag it onto the chart. It requires its own chart as it is an expert advisor. Just remember to allow live trading. And then let's have a look at the inputs. Now the inputs are pretty easy. You can nominate any instrument that your broker provides as in the market list. So you can do Forex and a few other instruments. Then the grid size is actually calculated as a factor of the ATR, which is the average true range a currency trades in, let's say, a day. So when using this setting, you can use very short periods, like for instance 15 days, and that would give you a reading of what's currently happening in the market over, let's say, the last 3 weeks or so. If you want to go longer, let's say 2 months, obviously then you go to 40 or 50 days. And if you even want to go even longer than that, you go, let's say 100 days. But I personally prefer the shorter term settings of about 15 to 20 days. Then we have a reference gap setting. Now, it all revolves around the euro franc, which is set for 20. But if you don't like the setting of the euro franc for 20, you can set it, let's say, to 15, or you can set it to 30, and it will therefore affect all the other currencies accordingly. I might just show that to you as we go along, and I might even show you something, the ATR period, how that is affected. But let's just OK the default settings, and there we are. We have the default settings, and it's saying for the euro franc, which is the reference currency, it's 20 pip gap, and for the Aussie, for instance, at the bottom here, you should be using a 36 pip gap. And that's exactly the intention of this tool, is to give you a guide as to what size gaps you should be using. Now, for instance, if you think 20 is too aggressive for the euro franc, all you go and do is you go into the inputs and you say, I don't want 20 because that's the default. I want 30. So you put 30 in there. You see you can go from 15 to 30. Say OK, and let's have a look what effect that has. Now that has gone to 30, and as you can see, the Aussie has increased to 53 pips. So it flows right through all the other currencies because the euro franc is the reference currency. Now those higher gap sizes are more conservative. They last better in unfavorable conditions, and that's why you might want to go that way. If you are confident that the currency that you're using is actually trading sideways and you could be more aggressive, you could then go in and, for instance, change that to 15. And let's have a look. The Aussie is 53. Let's see what that does to the Aussie. And there we go. So it went down to 27. So that gives you an idea. There's the 15 that was entered. Also, let's have a look at what the period does. Now, as I said, I like 15 as my period that I like. So let's have a look. So it's 15 and 27. Let's have a look what happens if we enter those. 15, and that goes to 29. So there's a slight difference there. And let's have a look if we make it 40 or 30. That's in between the two. And we say, all right, now we're going to look at that 29 down there. Small difference. So, but it does refine the calculation. You can have a shorter term view or you can have a longer term view. But again, this is a guide as to what kind of gap sizes you should be using, because the gap sizes are related to the volatility of a currency, and the volatility of a currency is sometimes best represented by the ATR. Also, we have included the spread figures in there for you to see what the current spreads are, so that you don't commit yourself to currencies that have huge spreads. If you do have any questions about this tool, please use the user manual or contact EA Factory at support@eafactory.com, and they will help you with that. But as I say, this is essentially a guide or a tool that you can use to set up your Grid Trend Multiplier trading. So from me, Alex Deploy, cheerio.